Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another Total War Arena video. So we're going to be continuing with the grind with the tier 8 Roman Cavalry, the Italian nobles. So if we just check their equipment, I've got things a little bit more upgraded than when I did the review on them last time. So we've now got the proper refined Sparta, which is like the Roman cavalry sword compared to like the Gladius, the infantry sword. So that gives me increased penetration, quite a significant increase to weapon damage and attack, and it also gives increased impact damage, increased charge damage. That's a good little bonus. I've got the full armor upgrade, which does give a little bit of a movement speed debuff, which is a shame, but it gives good body armor and it also gives an increased charge. To counter that, in the end, I've decided to use the what are considered by the game to be the worst leggings, greaves, but they give the movement speed, the acceleration, and the turn speed bonus. Compared to these, which give a lesser turn speed, a lesser movement, but a very small body armor increase. So I would rather not have the 5 body armor, but have the extra speed and turn speed and acceleration. So I've decided to use these. Obviously, we do still have to unlock these, so it's a shame to do that. We still have to unlock these to go down to the Praetorians, but there we go. I think it's worth it in the short term. So let's queue up a game and see how we get on. Just briefly, a few things to channel update while we're here. Obviously, at the moment, you see my face should be in the bottom corner. We're going to be hopefully getting a green screen, so the plan is, if my technical ability stretches to that, you should no longer have me in like a box where you can see my little studio as it is. You should just have my floating face, and I should be able to move my arms, and you should be able to see behind me, so I should become like a clear person rather than having all the background around me. So that'd be a good upgrade. Also, for those of you who don't know, I do quite a bit of Twitch streaming. A bit of an irregular schedule, but I do quite a lot, so go and check out my Twitch, follow me on Twitch. Should be a link in the channel description below. So we'll just skip through to the battle now rather than sit here watching me talk. So see you in the battle. So we're just loading into the Battle of Germania. Pretty standard tier 10 matchmaking that we sort of normally see in this game. I'm going to spawn in here on the flanks. Oh, that's good, we've got a tier 10 Germanicus player going to push up there. It gives you a few options whether I push around behind him to support him, or come down the river valley, or just push into the forest here and see what we see from that angle. So, yeah, I'm going to do that to see how we get off. Obviously, it's a tier 10 game, as is sort of always the way now when playing tier 8s. So we've got to be a little bit careful how we're going to play this one out, because I don't want to get caught out into the forest. So while we're just moving up, the other thing I briefly wanted to talk about is, for those of you who perhaps don't follow quite so closely, where Carthage as a faction is being added into the game. Which is obviously quite an exciting update, something I'm quite pleased about. They're adding in Hannibal and Hasdrubal as 2 new commanders, and they're adding in war elephants. So I mean, who doesn't want war elephants? Let's just check this bit because there's potential to be dodgy here. Okay, we're safe there. Yeah, so we're planning on bringing in war elephants. I think that's a really cool addition to the game. They did a dev stream live on Twitch last night, which showed some of the elements in action, and they're pretty cool. They seem to be relatively balanced. They sort of work as like a shock cavalry, and they really struggle against enemy spearmen, but sort of a lot more successful against archers and some of the lighter infantry. So it's kind of a cool little bit of a mix that they've got going on. They're also going to have pikes and swordsmen. The swordsmen are sort of going to be a mix of Carthaginian infantry and then mercenaries sort of in the later tier, including some like native Italian infantry like the Samnites and things like that. So it's kind of some cool features that are going to be added into the game. Just thinking about these war dogs. And there's some Praetorians pushing down there. Okay, let's pull back a little bit then. So we've got some friendly legionary cavalry down here, but there's not really a lot I can do about them. These Praetorians, I mean. So I'm just going to loiter around here for the moment to see what these guys are going to do. There's some infantry pushing across the open here. I can't see into this forest, which is a worry. I could be running into a trap, you see, until I clear this sort of initial entrance. Appears to be clear. We've got a little bit of visibility going on now we've moved in. Those Praetorians are pushing down that bottom flank. It looks like these guys are going to get engaged into a bit of a fight, which if they are, I will certainly gladly get involved in, actually. They've popped vengeance on one of their units. Let's just see how this pans out. We've got some pikes moving in, some tier 6 pikes there, and there's quite a lot of cavalry kicking around. Those guys aren't in vengeance and they're splitting off from the main group, so we'll have a go at these guys. We'll try and emerge from the forest. In time, get the nice charge off there while they're not really looking. Not perfect, but not too bad, and we should rout them. which we did. So let's just focus our attention on them. We'll use presence to give ourselves and our allies that little bit of a melee attack and melee defense increase. So focusing on just destroying this routing unit here. Oh, one of us have routed as well. Okay, a little unexpected. Not paying enough attention. Let's all get out of here. Some of our units getting a little bit caught up there. Okay. I'm not quite sure why we routed there. I guess we were fighting on two flanks and I just wasn't watching the morale enough. If we were, I'd have probably hit Oath of Perseverance to preserve the morale. So these infantry have kind of been overtaken by pikes. Not quite sure what the deal is there. And we've got some Tier 10 Imperial Guard pushing in down here. Sorry, I know I was in the middle of talking about Carthage and I will try and continue. Just things have got a little bit hot all of a sudden. So yes, these guys have engaged into the rear of these pikes by the looks of it. Although the pikes are doing a fairly good job of damaging these Imperial Guard. They did look like the Imperial Guard hit Vengeance though on most of their units, so that's going to put me off engaging. I think these guys might be struggling to get into a proper order for a phalanx. Well, it looks like they're bringing it round a little bit now. I'm just sort of looking at my opportunities really. I want to get involved in this fight here, but I don't want to take on a tier 10 Roman heavy infantry unit in the midst of a Vengeance. Because that'll be a bit of a tough fight. So if these guys are going to rear flank these hoplites, let's counter rear flank them, although they're now routing. And there's an Evocati cohort coming in as well. This fight's getting a little bit harder now. Let's have a look at my options. Let's regroup. Let's go for these guys. I'll get a charge in. They've turned on me. They did notice what I was doing. And these guys are going to come in on me, so it's time to get the hell out. Get the hell out. Come on. It's a bit of an overly bold move, I think, there on my part. Trying to help that tier 6 pike unit. We didn't really do a lot of damage, and we took quite a bit of damage in return. So let's perhaps just move over here a little bit. We've got some, I think I saw a scorpion over here maybe, and then some dogs moving up, so there's probably a dog handler around here somewhere. So we'll push into this little bit of forest here, see if we can see anything. Obviously we might become vulnerable to fire from that scorpion, which is obviously not such a good thing. We'll get the charge in there. Not quite how I intended to do it. I hadn't expected them to be there, but thankfully we got the charge off in time. So let's just kill these guys, which is what we want to do, and then try and deal with this other dog unit. They're probably gonna. They've obviously lost most of their dogs. We'll activate our vicious strikes to give us our extra weapon damage, although that will convey a speed debuff ultimately, which is not so good. So we've got some ballistas over here, look, but they don't really appear to be paying all that much attention, or certainly not aiming at us at the moment. Let's activate another war cry. Both lower their morale and their melee defense as well. These harbingers may come back and support in the rear. No, they're moving on. Oh, there we go. Their left flank. I would expect that to be enough to rout them, particularly if I activate war cry. Yeah, there we go. That should do it. Oh no, they're holding. There we go. Okay, let's move on to this scorpion. See what we can do about this guy. They've got an Evocati cohort there. I just don't know how much attention he is actually paying. Although there's something in this spotting range here, and they have got a lot of spikes set up, so maybe there's not a lot I can do about that. Yeah, and they've got some tier 10 Roman infantry there, so I think we'll leave those ones alone for the moment. So what have we got down here in the centre? Let's try and get back stuck into the fight. So we've got some tier 10 Roman infantry facing off against this tier 6 pikes. Those tier 6, considering how much lower they are, have done an amazing job of sort of getting stuck into everyone and trying to cause a reasonable amount of damage. It would be nice if they could rout, these harbingers could rout these Roman infantry. It would be pretty cool. It looks like they're going to struggle though. We'll certainly come in for a little bit of action if these guys are... No, it kind of looks like those pikes are going to keep in, so we don't want to jump into an array of friendly pikes because that's going to not do us any favours at all. So let's go for this unit of Evocati. Whether these harbingers are going to go for him or not, I don't know. We've also got to think a little bit about our base. We're not being captured yet, we're actually capturing the enemy base. So let's apply some pressure on this guy. Whether this harbinger is going to go for him, I don't know. Obviously we don't want to get caught into a heavy infantry charge, so I'll try and bait him into using his charge. Let's just get a little bit of distance on him, like that. That's fine. Or both between the two of us, we can get this guy to rout. I should have thought. We'll activate. There he goes. His morale. Bop, straight down. And there we go. He's routed. Excellent. Romans have brought in a fresh tier 10 heavy infantry unit though, which is going to be a problem. Maybe I'm beginning to think I'm making an error, and maybe the real move here would be to get back to the enemy base and try and capture. We're sort of not going to be able to take on a unit of tier 10 Palatini, is that how you say it? But he's actually pulling back to base by the looks of it to go and defend. So if we're going to win this, we're going to have to intercept him at some point. So let's move through this forest, just in case the opportunity presents itself to get them jump on him, as he's perhaps not expecting it. We're a bit slow as Roman cavalry really to be able to do this properly and get through this forest. I don't think this is going to work for us. We got the charge, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get him to rout. We'll hit it and do Oath of Perseverance. Certainly not going to be enough to get him to rout. He used Fortifier, which I think gives him a morale boost. It does plus 20 morale. So it's not going to be enough to break his ranks, unfortunately. We still might get to do a little bit of damage to him, although not a great deal by the looks of it. It looks like this could turn out to have been an error. I was trying to buy time for our units in base, but they look like they've also got another tier 10 unit of heavy Roman infantry, so I think this is a bit of a lost engagement. If we're looking for points, things I shouldn't have done, I shouldn't have got involved in this fight. This was an error. I was trying to buy time for our base, but with the enemy unit there, it was a pointless move. I would have been better off staying out and trying to look for more opportunities, like supporting these pikemen here. I must say, these pikes played very well. So yeah, that was a bit of an error there towards the end of the game. Simply the moves I think we did were okay. We intercepted those dog handlers in the forest. I think that was a good move. Killing off some tier 9 handlers. Kind of easy to target with cavalry because they don't have very many units per squad and they don't have a very strong attack or defense. It's the dogs that are effective. And because we knew the dogs had already engaged elsewhere, the handlers were kind of isolated and on their own. So we've got a reasonable amount of unit experience. We've got a little bit of aggression, or nothing compared to the Germanicus player. We've got a reasonable amount of support points for the different fights that we went and assisted in, and for using things like war cry and stuff to cause the enemy units to rout. So hopefully that's sort of just a bit of a fun video looking at sort of the Roman cavalry. I know I've done a review on these guys already. It's just a sort of a bit of an updated review now. I've got them a bit more graded. But the other upgrades don't add anything major. Obviously, I'm not going to be using these greaves. And for 18,000, I might not bother with the helmet. Although it does give us small body armor, morale, and view range buff. I don't know if I'm going to reach the Praetorian Cavalry in time for the closed beta wipe, because the servers are going to be shutting down on the 19th of February, and then we go into open beta on the 22nd. And as I was sort of briefly saying, yeah, the Carthaginian faction has been introduced. You can go back and check out the dev stream that the Total War Arena guys did yesterday, so that's pretty cool, well worth watching if you want to see some gameplay footage of the Carthaginians. But yeah, it's going to be cool to have war elephants into the game. It's be interesting to see the two new commanders, Hannibal and Hasdrubal, as well as sort of the pikes, the swords, and that sort of thing. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a like, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I shall see you all on the next episode.